Trading isn't just numbers, charts, and candlesticks. It's you against yourself. And here's the truth most people won't tell you. Your worst enemy in trading is not the market, not the brokers, not even the so-called manipulation. It's you. It's your psychology. And if you don't understand the dark side of trading psychology, you'll keep sabotaging yourself without even realizing it. Every trader, at some point, faces an invisible opponent. It isn't the market. It isn't the banks. It isn't some secret algorithm in the background. It's something far closer. It's the shadow within. Think about it. You sit in front of the screen, eyes locked on the chart, convinced you're in control. Your analysis is sharp. Your strategy is clear. Your plan is written. And yet, when the candles begin to move, when money is at stake, something inside you begins to whisper. Move the stop loss. Just a little. Hold on. It will turn back. Take the profit now. Don't risk losing it. These whispers sound reasonable, even logical. But they are not your reasons speaking. They are fragments of fear. Echoes of greed. Metameters of ego. And this is how self-sabotage begins. Not as a dramatic explosion, but as a quiet erosion of your discipline. A single compromise. One small decision. That becomes the gateway to ruin. Here is the paradox. No trader plans to sabotage themselves. Nobody opens a chart thinking, today, I will destroy my own account. And yet, day after day, account after account, traders across the world sabotage themselves with perfect precision. Why? Because the enemy is hidden inside their own psychology. Because the battle is not just with price, but with the mind interpreting it. Because the moment you put money on the line, the market ceases to be numbers on a screen and becomes a mirror. A mirror reflecting your deepest fears, your hidden insecurities, your unhealed impatience. And if you are not ready to face that reflection, you will break under it. Self-sabotage, then, is not an accident. It is the inevitable outcome of unexamined emotions. It is the natural gravity of a mind left unchecked. And the truth is, you don't just sabotage your trades. You sabotage yourself. Slowly, quietly, without even realizing it. Self-sabotage is not random. It follows a pattern, a cycle so precise, it almost feels scripted. It begins with fear. You take a trade. At first, your hands are steady. But as the candle moves against you, doubt creeps in. Your breathing changes. Your heart races. You hover over the mouse, convincing yourself you're in control. But fear has already entered the room. Fear gives birth to ego. You refuse to close the trade because closing it would admit you were wrong. And you cannot be wrong. You need to win, not just for the money, but to protect your identity. You are no longer trading the chart. You are trading your self-worth. Then comes greed. In a desperate attempt to reclaim control, you add to the position. You double down. You gamble more, not because it's wise, but because it feeds the fantasy of redemption. If the market turns, you will not only be right, you will be gloriously right. And when the chart keeps bleeding against you, the final guest arrives. Hope. Hope whispers, wait. It will turn back. Just a little more time. But hope is not strategy. Hope is denial dressed as optimism. It chains you to the sinking ship, while the market quietly drowns you in red. And then, when it's over, when the stop is hit, or when the account is drained, silence. A hollow emptiness fills the space where your confidence once lived. You tell yourself, never again. Next time will be different. But is it? Because the next setup appears. And once again, fear enters. Ego follows. Greed tempts. Hope deceives. Round and round you go, trapped in a cycle of your own making. This is the cruel reality of trading psychology. You are not fighting the market. The market is indifferent. You are fighting a cycle within yourself. One that knows your weaknesses, one that feeds on your impatience, your pride, your hunger. And here is the darkest truth of all. Some traders do not even want to escape the cycle. They become addicted to it. Addicted to the rush, the tension, the chaos. Winning or losing matters less than feeling alive in the storm. And so they stay, bound by the cycle, slaves to the very emotions they refuse to confront. Until you recognize this cycle for what it is, not an accident, but a pattern, you will remain inside it. A prisoner of your own psychology. A captive in a battle only you can end. I don't need to point at someone else to explain self-sabotage. I've lived it. I've worn it. I felt the sting of it in my own account, in my own mind. I remember the first time I doubled down on a losing trade. At the start, it was just a small position. Manageable. Safe. But as the chart began to slip against me, I couldn't accept it. I told myself, no, this is just a pullback. The market will turn. Instead of closing the trade, I added more. And in that moment, I wasn't trading price action anymore. I was trading my pride. The deeper the loss went, the louder the emotions became. Fear kept me frozen. Ego demanded I hold. Greed promised redemption if I just added one more lot. And hope whispered lies in my ear, convincing me to wait just a little longer. The screen didn't feel like a chart anymore. It felt like a battlefield. My rational mind had left the room. All that remained was emotion, screaming louder than logic. And by the time I finally closed the trade, the damage was far worse than it ever needed to be. That wasn't the only time. There were days I cut winning trades too soon, terrified the profit would vanish. Days I chased the market out of boredom, pretending it was opportunity. Days I sat there, watching my account swing like a pendulum, and asked myself quietly, why am I doing this to myself? That's when I realized something painful. The market wasn't beating me. I was beating myself. Every bad habit, every emotional impulse, every sabotage, it wasn't random. It was me handing over the knife and asking the market to cut me. And until I admitted that, nothing could change. So if you've ever felt that sting, if you've ever sat there watching yourself make the same mistake again and again, I want you to know, you're not alone. I've been there, many times. And the hardest part isn't losing money. The hardest part is realizing you betrayed yourself. There comes a point where you get tired of the cycle, tired of watching the same mistakes repeat, tired of losing not just money, but respect for yourself. I reached that point, and maybe you have too. Because here's the truth. Breaking free isn't about mastering the market. It's about mastering yourself. It begins with awareness. The hardest thing I ever did was look my mistakes in the eye without excuses. To admit, yes, I moved my stop. Yes, I doubled down. Yes, I sabotaged myself. That honesty hurts. But it's also where freedom begins. Then comes discipline. Not the kind you talk about, the kind you live by. Discipline is setting a stop loss and refusing to touch it. Discipline is walking away when the setup isn't clear. Discipline is letting go of the need to be right and choosing instead to be consistent. And beyond discipline is detachment. You cannot cling to money and expect peace. You cannot cling to being right and expect growth. You must accept that losses will come, that being wrong is part of the game, that your job is not to control the market, but to control yourself. I learned that trading is not a battle with charts. It is a mirror held up to your soul. Every fear, every insecurity, every hidden weakness, trading will reveal it. And until you face those shadows, you will repeat them. But here's the light in all this darkness. The same way trading can expose your flaws, it can also forge your strength. Patience, discipline, clarity, humility. Qualities you don't just need for trading, but for life. So maybe the market is not your enemy. Maybe it is your teacher. A ruthless teacher, yes, one that charges heavy tuition, but a teacher nonetheless. And if you can stop fighting yourself, if you can learn to step out of your own way, then trading becomes something far greater than profits and losses. It becomes a path, a discipline, a mirror that not only shows you who you are, but who you could become. In the end, trading isn't really about money. It isn't about charts or strategies or secret indicators. It's about you. The market doesn't care if you win. It doesn't care if you lose. It doesn't even know your name. But it has a way of showing you yourself. Every hesitation, every burst of greed, every whisper of fear, the market reflects it back at you with brutal honesty. And when you sabotage yourself, it's not the market defeating you. It's you refusing to face your own reflection. But here's the hope. That reflection doesn't have to stay the same. Every trade is a chance, not just to grow your account, but to grow yourself. To learn patience where once there was impulsiveness. To find discipline where once there was chaos. To embrace humility where once there was ego. The market is a mirror, and when you finally stop running from what you see, you'll realize that the battle was never against the charts. It was against the parts of yourself you refused to master. So ask yourself, as you step into your next trade, am I following my plan, or am I sabotaging myself? Because in the quiet, in that one simple question, lies the difference between repeating the cycle and breaking free from it forever.